All right, hey guys, this is Christian, and I am here with a very good friend of mine, Daniel.
Yep.
And really excited to have him down. We haven't actually been friends for very long, like a year.
That's right.
And
It feels like longer.
feels like a lot longer. Yeah, actually, we just met, and he's just one of those guys that, some people you just connect with instantly, and it was like romance.
Bromance from the start.
Yeah.
Bromance from the start.
Yeah, it really was. So he is, you're 25, right?
25 years old.
And married to a beautiful woman
Yes.
named Miriam.
Miriam. That's right.
Yeah. So basically, what we wanted to do, we're just sitting here having coffee today, and we're having this talk, and we're talking about boundaries and what does it mean to be a man, and females, the femininity and masculinity and those type of things. And we just wanted to let you guys in on our talk. So, this is not something we planned. We're just going to talk about it. So
A chat.
it's a chat, yeah. So, you've been married for how long?
So, Miriam and I, we got married for a little bit more over a year, 2 years now. So the 18th of August, we got married.
That's my birthday.
No way.
Seriously, that's my birthday.
That's crazy,
That's
man.
so funny.
Hey, I'm looking for a wife for you very soon. I'm just saying that was prophetic. But
Yeah.
so we've been married for a bit over 2 years, and it's an adventure. Getting to know a person on that level is an adventure. It's amazing adventure.
Yeah, you're saying here earlier how it's really something. You actually said the most attractive thing that you can do to your wife.
Yeah.
What is that? That she feels is the most attractive thing.
So here's what I would think that Miriam would say, and she's actually said this herself. That I think she loves, and what she found very attractive with a man is when I actually share with her some of my deepest things that's going on in my heart. Like, that seems obvious to a married couple. Like, you share everything. But I've noticed as I've been talking to people that it's not that obvious. Sometimes you withhold things. So, and what that is that you make yourself vulnerable. So when I make myself vulnerable, let's say, for example, Miriam, I come home and she asks me, "How was your day?" And then I could choose to say, "It was good."
Yeah.
That would be quite like a response from a man. It was good, because if I met you and you would ask me, I was like, "It was good."
Yeah.
You would understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You'd be like, "Yeah, it was good."
Short answer, but it's probably not what she wants to hear, though.
No, she loves when I start to tell her, "Well, I met this person, and we start to talk, and when he said this and that to me, I felt this." So if I start to actually put myself in a position where I talk more about feelings, I think that's where I appreciate too.
Yeah.
This is not only for me, but when Miriam makes herself vulnerable for me, that's when intimacy really starts.
Yeah.
So I would say when we get real intimate with each other, that's not only when it comes to sex, but it's also when I make myself vulnerable.
Right.
That's what I would say.
Yeah, and you were we're chatting earlier how we've done away with this thing of meeting people. That's actually something we feel is a positive thing, that we're supposed to be strong on our own. And I think it's particularly for men. We want to come across this. We have everything together, and I think probably there's a lot of pride sometimes.
Oh yeah, big time.
For men, at least for me,
Absolutely.
more so than women.
I think so. I actually think so. So for me personally, we've just started to go to a new church, and we're members there now, and it feels amazing. Feels great. And we're part of a Alpha team. Alpha is basically a way to connect with new people that don't believe in a God, and
Right.
so on. It's
It's a crash course in
exactly
Christianity.
It is, and it's amazing how many different people you meet. And I would say, in what you were saying there, Christian, especially when it comes to vulnerability, and one of the things that I'm afraid of is failure. I am very afraid of failing.
Me too.
And I would say, like, for instance, now when I come to new church, I don't know anyone there basically, and I'm in charge of a pretty huge project of that church. I feel afraid that I might fail.
Yeah. All right.
Fail and then I started to notice that I went into this the main auditorium that we're supposed to have alpha, and I don't even know how to turn the lights on. Like and I'm supposed to have a leadership night, and I don't know how to turn the lights on. So it turns out, and I came home that night and I felt like such a failure. It didn't work. The technical stuff didn't work. The microphone didn't work. But people were, and I talked to Miriam, my wife, afterwards, and she said, it was a good night. Couldn't you see this? But I couldn't see it because of the fear of failure. So I think every time I make myself vulnerable, I also, what you have to face is fear, I think. Fear of what might the other person think. Because I put my life on the line, or I put my heart on the line. And I think most people think that this is only one opportunity only when you ask somebody like, hey, should we get together? Or hey, maybe when you propose. Because when you propose, you actually, the person that you propose to could say no. So you make yourself vulnerable, because that's a choice not in your hands but in theirs. So when I did that for Miriam, that was I was crying the day before because it was such a hard commitment, because I was afraid.
I would too, man.
What would she say to me? Am I good enough? All these thoughts. I think men in general I think, especially in Sweden, we're asking ourselves this question: do I have what it takes to be a man? Do I have what it takes to actually be this person for my wife?
Right, exactly. And so I think, both of us feel like it's the man's job to propose. That's kind of, don't you? We haven't talked about it.
So I think this is very different. I think the most important thing behind this is that you actually want to get married. I think that's what you really should talk about. But I think for me, it's to propose to someone is an amazing opportunity, and I believe I can only talk for myself and what I felt. But when I actually got down on my knees and proposed to Miriam, that was very important to me, because then I showed her it was it's like just that gesture, to get down on one knee and say, hey, I am asking you from beneath.
Yeah,
that's really what it is.
Humbling yourself.
It's humbling yourself towards your woman, towards your maybe future wife. And I think that I'm going to say something I've never said before. I hope that I propose to my wife every single day. I hope I get down on my knees. It could be, hey, Daniel, could you take the washing? I hope I say yes, because that's for me is proposing. Because what really happens is that I'm asking her, I want to give up my life for you.
Yeah.
I need you. And when she says yes, when she said yes to me, she said, I need you too.
Yeah, that's really good. And that's a way better way of putting it. It's like the man's job sounds it doesn't sound really good, does it? But if it is a bit harder to be vulnerable, then it actually really means something when you do that. Get down on one knee. And I've always thought it's a really beautiful thing.
It is. It is.
And I know that there's, in some instances, the woman proposes, but I prefer to be the one proposing.
Yeah, for sure.
Because there's something about that vulnerability that also is kind of it's a significant moment.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, just like what you said. Couldn't have said it better. It was something that you said before about that, talking about like femininity and masculinity,
right?
And defining those things.
Yeah.
You remember what we talked about?
Yeah, for sure. So
you said something really good there, because this is something I think we misunderstand a lot. I certainly do. I'm trying to learn this.
Sometimes when you have a conversation and you just say things, and then you think to yourself, "Whoa, I never said that before. Do I really think this way?"
Yeah.
But I certainly think this way. I believe. Especially if you read. For all you guys that don't know me, I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus, and I believe that there is, in the Old Testament, you can read about Adam. Everything is amazing in paradise. Everything is amazing in Eden, the garden that God has created for Adam to live in. Everything was perfect. Everything was good. There was only one thing that was not good, and that was that he was alone. So God created Eve out from a rib from Adam.
Yeah.
And I think, so here's my personal belief. This is only me. But I believe that there is a vacuum. I had a vacuum before I got married, a vacuum that only Miriam could fill. And she had a vacuum that only I could fill. And my theory is that I hope, and this is my prayer, like I really want this. I want to confirm Miriam in every way possible. I see it as my job as a husband to confirm her and to be there for her and honor her, in every way possible. It's about honoring Miriam, honoring that person that she is and that God created her to be as a daughter of God, daughter of the Most High. And that is to, what I'm really saying is that I confirm, and watch out now, here it comes, I confirm her
Femininity.
Yeah. I confirm her, I as a man confirm her as a woman, and she confirmed me as a man. That's what I believe, because otherwise, I think I have a hard time to think of it differently.
Yeah, you said something so good earlier. Also, that was when we talk about masculinity and femininity. You can't really talk about one without the other.
No.
Like masculinity defines femininity.
Yeah,
and the opposite is also true.
They two belong. Like I have a friend.
Two sides of the same coin.
It is. They belong together. You can talk about being. You can talk about femininity or womanhood, and not talk about Mr.hood. If you know what I'm saying. Like you really need to. Sometimes I have some friends, and we talk about. I love this because I'm a newbie. I'm a newbie at being a husband. I don't know at all basically what it is because I've only been married for 2 years. But I'm working on it still, so I try to have that approach. But I think it is a good approach, I think. But I think that also that, sometimes we talk about women being from Venus and men from Mars, like they're different planets because we think so differently sometimes. Yeah. But I think that's not really true because we belong together. I think there is a match made in heaven, and I believe that there is a plan for that. So in order to talk about what we are, we need to be confirmed from a woman and vice versa.
See, and that's so true. I mean, just in my life, some of the people that have really helped me become the man that I am and really understand and shape me as a man have been women. Like, there's nothing like that can really shape a man as a woman, and there's nothing that can shape a woman like a man. And that's the bottom line, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that we need each other, basically. And it's not. That's why this whole thing of, feminism. If you're defining feminism as let's do away with men, and just make it on our own. If that's your definition, then that's not really a good trade-off,
right? And as we're talking,
or the opposite too, with just men, we just don't need women, But it's sure path to be really lonely in life.
Absolutely, and I believe like in the Bible, if you read about King David and Jonathan, they had bromance, man. Yeah. Like they were like super. Shoot, we were.
Sorry, we're back. Just dropped the camera there.
We get a little bit
anyway,
excited.
Yeah.
Talking about this. However, I believe like David and Jonathan they were super tight. And I believe many people today would think that they would be gay because they were super intimate, but they're not. They were just super intimate friends.
Yeah.
But I believe this area is it's an area where it's very fragile, and it has become that way somehow. So I think it's important to talk about this. Misunderstood for sure. Mm-hmm. Especially when we're talking about this, we were talking about the gift of being single as well.
Right.
And I think that's super important to talk about this. My approach, if you would apply it in a wrong way, would be that, okay, so I need, if I'm a man, I need a woman to be complete, which is true, but I also believe that if you might also have the gift of being single, and that's from God as well. And so that's, and you don't talk about that much in church, which is bad, because that is a gift from God himself.
Totally is. And this is some really good stuff, man. We could sit here for hours, but
Yeah.
I didn't want to keep this video too long. And but thank you so much.
Thank
for being
you, Christian.
here, and hope I can have you back. In
Absolutely.
These episodes.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
He's such a cool guy.
This man.
Love this
This
dude.
man though. This man though.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, man. Thanks, Daniel.
Definitely.
And I will catch you guys soon. I am going to be in California pretty soon, and right now we're in Stockholm, which is sitting at a cafe. But I will do videos on my travels for sure. So see you guys.